States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our dear, kind, and gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to meet together as a governing body for Fruit Heights City. Please bless tonight that we'll be able to listen to the agenda and truly think through those things that are being presented today, that we'll be able to be of sound mind to make the proper judgment calls for our residents. Please bless that we can do so in a professional manner and be uplifting to each other and professionally say these things. Christ, amen.
Amen. Item number 1.3 is roll call. Haley?
Councilmember Gary Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Mark Cottrell.
Here.
Councilmember Eileen Moss.
Here.
Councilmember Florence Sadler. Here. Councilmember Sean Stevenson.
Here.
Mayor John Coleman.
Here. Thank you. Before we go on to 1.4, I want to thank everyone for coming. Thank you for attending the City Council meeting. We appreciate those in attendance. Item number 1.4 is training. So every City Council agenda, we put 3 minutes on our agenda to allow an elected official to train us on our responsibilities as an elected official. Tonight's assignment is Eileen. Eileen, you've got 3 minutes.
Okay. I've got just probably two little tiny things.
Great.
One of the things years ago that was pointed out at a city council meeting that I hadn't really thought about was as we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we tend to say one nation under God. And if you actually read it, it reads one nation under God with no comma. And so it's just an interesting little thought as we have that opportunity to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, which doesn't happen in normal life very often anymore. And so it is written that we are one nation under God. And so that's something I wanted to just bring up really quickly. And the other thing is that I wanted to talk for just a minute about our planning commission. Tonight we are going to be discussing our fence and ordinance just a little bit, and there is some ambiguity in it that is we asked our attorney to resolve for us. And in reviewing some of the ordinances out there, I think we need to remember the proper role of the planning commission and their responsibility to take on things and give us recommendations. So I just wanted to remind us that the planning commission is important, and it's nice to have those extra set of eyes to be looking at ordinances, and as things come up that maybe are different than what we have looked at in the past, we need to ask for their input. That's it.
Great. Thank you so much. Item number 2 is a declaration of conflict of interest. Do we have anything tonight?
And we'll go on the sign ordinance again, just because that's coming up, and Sean and I are running for election.
Okay.
Affects us this time.
Great, thank you. Item number 3 is we put on all our agendas to allow residents to present anything they'd like to City Council. Do we have anyone who would like to present anything tonight? We'd love to hear from you. Thank you. And as always, we ask you to try and keep it to about 3 minutes.
Linda Krismer, do I give my address to 1563 James Drive? I just want to thank the City Council for your expansion of the fire restrictions for fireworks. The week of the 24th, it was much quieter on our side of the highway. And one thing that we noticed on the night of the 24th, around 11:30, there were a lot of the aerials, that not the pretty ones, but just the going up and the loud booms. And so Jim rode over here to see if they were doing it at the city building, and they were not. They were across the highway on the other side of the sound wall. But there was a deputy going right down Mountain Road in front of him, so he had to see him, and he pulled into the LDS church and parked instead of dealing with the aerials. And I know that the law says anything that goes lower than 150 feet is against the law. So I think we need to do some examining of what the law actually is for what's legal and what's not legal, and let the public know, so that the next time there's a holiday to do fireworks, they know exactly what kind of fireworks really are legal or not. So anyway, thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Linda. Anyone else? Seeing or hearing, we're going to move on to item 4.1, which is our Youth City Council report. Please come up.
I'm Grant Batt. We had our meeting last night as the Youth City Council, and for our activity this August, we are going to be celebrating Founders Day again, the Wild West theme. And we had talked about doing a 5K, but we decided not to just because we didn't get started planning that early enough, but thinking we might do it next year. And for our September activity, we're going to be passing out flyers about the drainage system to inform the public.
Great. Is there anything that we can do to support you in the West and keep the city?
No, I think we're doing great. Thank you.
Excellent. Do you have, did you get enough people to sign up to do face painting and things like that for Founders Day?
I think we're looking.
What did you ask?
Did you get enough of the youth
Our youth.
to sign up to help with the face painting?
We're working on that. We're going to be split into a couple of shifts.
Great. Excellent. Thank you for all you're doing. Thanks for coming tonight. Item number 4.2, Mr. and Ms. Kite. We invite you to come forward and present. Good. As you're coming up, as a city council, we've all read the material that you sent out. We've had a chance to review everything, so you guys have the floor.
Well, that's what we were hoping for, because we didn't want to waste our 10 minutes going over what we've already submitted. We just really want answers tonight. We've waited months. We don't know where to put our fence. As you said, I've looked up, I have spent, you have no idea how many hours looking up ordinances. They're not sequenced, they're not, you have to look in minutes of meetings. They're really hard to find, so found what we thought were appropriate, and we'd just like clarification tonight so we can move ahead.
So can I have you, what is your request specifically? And I don't know if we can make a decision tonight.
Did you read our letters?
We read it, yes.
That's my request,
Okay,
all of those issues
okay,
that we've requested over and over and over.
okay.
No reply from anybody. Darren has been very willing to open his door, let us sit down and vent, but there's no answers. Everything's a gray area. Everything's got to go to the attorney. And the ordinances are written by the council, is that right?
Actually, land use ordinances are to go to the planning commission first.
Okay, but somebody should
And then to the
understand.
council.
Somebody should be able to say, you want to know where you put your fence? This is the ordinance.
Exactly, and it should be, unless there's been a change, it's gonna be over in that green book, that is the final word on, unless we've had a change, and if there's a change, the green books have not been updated recently, but the fence ordinance has not been updated either,
I
so.
found 3 different fence ordinances. I don't know which one we go by, and that's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Tell us where we put our fence so we have line of sight. That's all we want to know. We're waiting to redo some landscaping, and this has been going on since May. Most of our problems have been going on since December, and we have no answers,
Right.
nothing.
So, a couple things that you say that I want to articulate pretty clearly. So, we as a governing body, as a city council, we are not going to step in front of or step on top of the attorney or our city manager, Darren Franson. So, when you say that we're not responding, it's because all of us know that you've been able to meet with and you're talking things through with Darren. So we can't get in and change anything or do anything without Darren understanding what's going on and putting something together for us to work on or approve.
So could Darren answer us tonight?
So you're looking to know where you can put your fence?
That's the first thing.
Can I
Yeah.
address this real quick?
Yes.
Okay, we provided all that information because we were told that we need to provide that, a paper trail and our concerns to the city council or the mayor and to the manager. I've been talking with the manager since January to try and get those answers. And all I get is, well, I'm still waiting on a something from the attorney to tell me where to put the fence. He says, I says, okay, when do I get that? He says, you'll get it tonight. That's been almost 3 months ago. I says, are you gonna inform Mr. White about that? He said, yes, Mr. White. So finally, after all this time, I needed line of sight. Safety concern, I needed that. So I took 6 feet of my fence down. My neighbor says, hey, did you take the fence down? I said, yeah, have you not talked to the city? Darren hadn't even talked to him. No response. So anyway, I put the fence back up. Darren finally, that night, he actually called, Mr. White called Darren, said, hey, what about that? Do I need to take it down? Darren told me, according to Mr. White, you can do that when you do your landscaping. Which, who knows when that's gonna be? So I put my fence back up and said, okay, we'll just go over that. There's not only that concern with the fence, I'm concerned with the 25%, taking up that backyard, and him flooding me out. He did that at the beginning when he built his house. The water come down. I went over and asked him, will you build a berm to keep your water out of my yard? He said, yes, I will, and he did. So I appreciated that. That was his responsibility to do that, to control his water, the way I understand it. Ordinances, if you read what an ordinance is, this is the law. You are the governing body that makes them happen, not the city manager. You're the governing body. Is that correct?
Can I interrupt you again on this? So because this is a land use question, this would be something that would be discussed and presented before Planning Commission. And then once Planning Commission has done the deliberation and they have had their public hearings, that resolution or that ordinance or whatever that decision would be, that would then come to City Council for us to deliberate and to approve.
So we were told to come before you. That's wrong. We should be coming before the planning commission.
We brought this up to the Planning Commission in January when we talked about the ordinance.
So what was brought up to the Planning Commission was the setbacks on pools.
That's correct.
So it's not, so tonight I've heard you say the fence, I've heard you say water, and I've heard you say 25% of landscape.
Hard surface.
Hard surfaces.
Well, there's also
So,
very black and white ordinance on a 15-foot setback if a backyard is coterminous with a side property, not backyard, I'm sorry. A back property line that's coterminous with a side property line. He clearly violates that. When you guys changed it to 6 feet, we thought it doesn't matter. It's gotta be 15 feet. Lo and behold, guess it doesn't.
The other concern we have is we feel like that once you change the ordinance to 6 feet, which we were okay with that, okay, yeah, they changed it, there's nothing we can do about that. But Mr. White was issued a building permit. Go ahead and put your pool in, it don't matter about any of the other ordinances. Nobody, I brought these up to the city manager. I finally got him over there to look at the fence, but he keeps telling me, Mike says the 25% hard surface, Mr. White meets that. Well, you can clearly see in the pictures that we provided with you, he doesn't meet that. So if you're telling me I need to go to the planning commission, what's my next option?
so I think we have a couple of concerns here that need to be very clearly stated. First and foremost, neither of us are inspectors. That's why we hire a professional. Mike has gone out there and he has done a report, and I've seen those reports. He's done 2 of them. And he's the one who approved and said that backyard meets our ordinances. Okay? So that's one situation.
What happens if it don't?
Well, it's been inspected. I feel that I would trust him before I would trust myself going over there and saying it does or it does not.
Did you look at the, okay,
Did
never
you look
mind.
at the ordinance?
I looked at the site plan, I've looked at what Mike has said, but what I'm actually hearing is I'm hearing you say that you're gonna poke holes in any of the ordinances as long as it doesn't allow that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, we're not the bad people here. I'm worried about the water. The reason that ordinance is there is so I don't get flooded out.
Okay?
If he is beyond that 25%, I'm gonna get flooded out. Then what do? According to Darren, we'll deal with that when it happens.
I don't think Darren has said that. I think
Darren, did you tell me that?
you'll deal with it.
Darren?
I did not say that we will deal with it. comments. I said, we're taking care of it now. As you remember, when you were sitting in my office.
So I don't want to be against you. I would like to work with you guys. But what you keep on saying has spun. Line of sight. That's what the first thing was. And that has now changed to now it's not 25%.
No, they're all there.
Okay.
We
So
got a safety issue with the overhead power lines. We called Utah Power, or Rocky Mountain Power, they gave us that sheet. He doesn't meet that order. There's several of them, is what we're saying. We're not trying to nitpick. We're
Okay.
trying to say, if and when we put a pool at our other property, what are the ordinances?
Can I do anything I want?
As long as it fits the ordinance, yes.
But his doesn't. You can see the ordinance that I put on there that said 15 feet from a coterminous fence. Is that not an ordinance?
So, and I know that's why Darren has been working with the attorney, and that's why he keeps on saying it's going back to the attorney because we want professional opinion of
Is
what's
that
going
not
on.
black and white, 15 feet if you have a coterminous fence?
Well,
Black and white.
it depends on how you interpret it.
So if I run a stop sign and the cop pulls me over and say, hey, wait a minute, we can negotiate this. It's the same thing. Those are black and white, they're law.
I mean, we understand this is a really difficult situation, really difficult.
Right.
Because if you see things the way we do, the whites are gonna be really upset. If you see things the way it is right now, we're gonna be really upset. So you're gonna have action from one side or the other. Because I'm not letting this go. It impacts, you can see from that picture, it impacts our yard, even with the 6-foot ordinance. We've been told things like, well, we measured the 6 feet from the water line. Where does it say that? Everything I looked up said they measure it from the cement surrounding the pool. We just want answers.
Okay.
Not trying to fight anybody, we just want answers and we want the problem solved. And we want to be able to move our fence back and we want the pool to be within ordinance. And
So,
it doesn't appear to us that it is.
so this governing body is not we cannot, because there's not an action item for us to take action tonight. I think the best course of action would be for Darren and I come and meet with you, or you come to the city and let's sit and talk this through. Because I want to see resolution. I don't want to make you the bad people. Great. But
We have for months, so this is great. You're finally offering to speak to us.
I
That's good.
have offered many times, but whatever.
Not to us.
No, I haven't talked to you. No, I have not talked to you. I talked to the
We sent
attorney.
emails out three weeks ago to 4 weeks ago
June.
to all of you.
Right.
No response.
Darren. And I know you did.
No, you didn't get a response from
You
Darren.
have talked to Darren many times.
I have talked to him. I've asked for ordinances. I've asked for the attorney's thing, all that. I haven't done any of it.
Okay, so go ahead,
Can I
Sean.
say something? I'd like to say that I did respond.
Yes, you did.
I came to your house to understand. When I saw that email the day of, I came to your house to understand the situation, to get a bigger picture, because I didn't know, correct? I think we're all trying to do the same thing here. I understand you guys are frustrated with not getting answers for a long period of time. I will let you know that I know that Darren is currently working to change the ordinances, to have them outlined, to be updated. That's one of the answers you guys want. But as I know that you guys are upset and frustrated, I just would like to continue to work together to get the answers that you want. And you know, you did say one thing, you just said there's gonna be action. Anytime somebody threatens action, lawyers get involved, discussions end. No. I'm just saying, you said there's gonna be action. I just wanna make sure that you're not saying there will be action in terms of a lawyers. That's how people could interpret. That's how I interpret it. If it wasn't that way, I apologize. I'm just saying, if people start talking that way, communication shuts down, and then it gets real ugly. But I do believe, I understand.
Until I finally got angry, and you came over, that's the
Yes, ma'am.
first time,
And
other than our conversations with Darren.
I just want you to know-
Darren's been down once, and our problem is, the issues with the pool
Mhm.
are really concerning, because we brought this up long before the pool was started, and no one would come down and look at it, no one. And we kept saying, they're gonna put the pool in, nobody's stopping it. It appears it doesn't meet the 15-foot ordinance.
like the mayor's saying, we're trying to get those answers, but what I'm saying is you're being heard. We're trying to take those actions. Yes, maybe it's been a little too long. I don't know all the past, and you know, 'cause I've only been here for a few months essentially, but we're trying to do that and work with you guys to get there. If you can continue to work with us, calmer spirits will prevail and get you guys those answers. Am I wrong?
I'm trying to be calm, but.
Okay. I know you're
You say
frustrated.
we're gonna reword the ordinances. To what? Favor the way you want it to turn out? Aren't the ordinances that were in place when the permit was issued?
Where we're looking to clarify all of those as is, because they seem to be a little vague. There are ordinances that we've had throughout the years, correct? That they don't really get updated until we find an issue, right? Or a problem comes up. We are currently on the cusp of that right now.
But
And
we're looking at the ordinances
as when the building permit was
You
issued.
don't get to change them now.
I understand that.
Okay, that's all, I just
Okay.
want to clarify that.
A lot of them are black and white, and they should be laws that, so if you're telling me that they're not, and we can negotiate them,
No.
apparently I can do whatever I want, I don't have to worry about the ordinance.
I interrupt you because that's never anything I said. I never said you can negotiate ordinances, ever. That's not something you can do.
No, I thought that's what he
I thought
said.
that's.
No.
That's what I'm hearing too.
But what we can do is I would love to sit down and listen, but you have to understand that we are governed by ordinances. And those ordinances have to be followed.
That's what we're saying.
How the city has interpreted the ordinance and issued the building permit is how the city had interpreted the ordinance.
Can you give me a different interpretation of 15 feet from a coterminous property line?
Okay, so we were willing to give you 10 minutes on the agenda. In fact, no, I was willing to give you 10 minutes. We're now at 15. There's not anything that we can decide tonight, but I will reach out to you this week.
We thought maybe that's what we sent you all that information so you can review it and we can attack it at that time.
We just want some answers. That's all we've ever asked for.
Great. I will get with Darren and we will schedule a time to sit and talk this through.
That would be wonderful.
Great. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thanks for your time, Councilor. Hopefully we can resolve all this.
Moving on to item number 5.1, which is ordinance Title 10, 16-10, which is outlined as political signs. Jared, do you want to present anything else on this?
So, as discussed in our previous council meeting, we did talk about updating the sign ordinance for political signs of how long they could be out before the election. The council recommended 45 days. So I've gone through and updated the ordinance to a clean version of 45-day changes. I redlined the old ordinance and put a fresh copy in there for the council to review and go through. My question is to the council, are there things that you see that need to be updated or changed more? Or did I change too much? Any questions on that? If there's no questions or no discussion on this, this is what we would be putting forward to our public hearing in 2 weeks.
So my only concern is, we talked about the 45 days. You have clarified some other things in there that I have no problem with what you clarified, but I feel like to do anything more than 45 days should go to the planning commission. It is a land use ordinance. And so I struggle just a little bit because, again, we need to give some deference. And it's not much that you've changed. You changed,
I'll change back the two things, and if that's what the planning commission, I'll change it back, so it doesn't. It only had to do with days, it didn't have to
It
do
only
with
had to do with days.
any other areas.
Well, it was, that you'll hold the signs for not 30 days, but 5 days. Again, I think that's a great change. But I recognize, I'm struggling.
But I don't think they changed anything that really is that
No, it's not a big change.
pertinent to it. And if we wait for the planning commission, then we gotta wait another month.
And it's-
Over a month.
Right, and that's too long.
It's way too long, and he brought this up to us last time, and, I mean, I came over and asked him a bunch of questions and made a couple of changes, and that's what we should have all done, so we could make.
Well,
I think some of that is too, where there's no land use change,
right,
there isn't. It's a matter of
it's
days.
just days, and you feel like that's okay.
Yeah, I talked to Brad about this, making sure, if I had to go anywhere else before I even brought it to the council. Because I had to go to the planning commission. And Brad was like, well, are you changing areas or are you adding areas? We're not doing anything different than
Everything's
that.
all the same.
Everything's the same except the number of days. And I said, well, just want to do that to see if it works. And he's like,
And
that's a council
I
change.
like that.
So,
I'm not saying I don't like it. I like it. I just want to make sure that we're.
that's why everything I've done was just the days. It wasn't the land use anywhere in it.
So I like your explanation. It sits well with me that we're not changing the land, but I think that it's important to, the point is that if the authority lies with the city council, it needs to go to the city council. If the authority lies with the mayor, it goes to the mayor. If it lies with the planning commission, it must do that. But in this case, I can see how it doesn't need to go to the planning commission because we're not changing the areas.
No, nothing on the
And I think that was just
that's
kind
part of
of the concern is just trying to say, let's not take the authority on ourselves when we don't really have the right to take it, and just trying to be overly cautious probably.
And I agree with that, and I think we said a little bit about that. There's nothing changing except the days when we talked last time, and that's what gave just the ability to change that portion to the council.
Great, thank you. Why don't you set here for, item number 5.2,
Which one is that one?
sale of parcels located at Main Street, Highway 89.
So, as we've discussed before, now this is an agenda item. We've been working with UDOT for different properties in Fruit Heights City from the 89 project. This little two parcels are down at the Cherry Hill area, which are two tiny different squares that just come into the corners of the two properties. UDOT, in order to either move forward with selling of that property, needs to be cleaned up. And there was a couple options that we've talked about as, does the city buy the whole property? Or do we sell those two parcels? We wanted to move forward with the selling of the two little parcels. We didn't think that it was a good use of spending city funds on that property down there at the time. UDOT has prepared with their appraisals. I've sent those out to be reviewed, not only by the council, but by the attorney to make sure those things are in line and they're where they're supposed to be. The attorney has said, yeah, that is in line where he would think that would be for those two little parcels. And we're also working along with the same thing with the parcels up where we have access to our property up a mountain road. But this is the beginning of that process right here.
But these are actually standalone and
These
not
are-
part of that.
They're not part of it, but that's part of the progress of moving forward, is this area that you be taken care of first. So there's two different parcels. They do have to be, UDOT, as I talked, and Haley was reviewing things, UDOT does do it by resolution, which is just saying, yep, each council member had an individual vote on this to see if they wanted to purchase two parcels. One parcel is really close to 31,000, and the other one's
So they
45.
need it in order to clean it up, is that?
Yeah, so
They need
a little history on this property. UDOT has purchased and sold this property more than one time. And those two parcels have been sold and back, and they've been for Head City property, which was not found until we've started going through the discussion this last time about that property. They went through and did some little more research, and it showed those two parcels of being for Heights City. So it's something they need to clean up to be able to move forward with that property down there.
And clean up means just like.
Yeah, take those little tiny pieces that are, one of them goes clear out to Main Street. And there's a little portion that comes into that property. They need to clean that up and bring that together and create that one owner lot.
So on your desk is a resolution, we would approve it, item number 6.1.
There just needs to be one for each property on that to match up with their stuff, so.
Thank you. And then item number 5. Sorry, any questions on that? Great. Item number 5.3, fraud risk assessment.
So this is a fraud risk assessment that is required for the city to send into the state auditor. We finish our budget for the year. I went through and marked everything that we comply with and where we're at. We are low in our chances of fraud with our ordinances that we have now, with our purchasing policies, how things are divided between the staff, those different things. The first page you're looking here is a score sheet, and you just go through and research each one to make sure we still qualify for each one of those. And if we do, we get points for those that we qualify for.
I have a question on number 4, because that's something that I don't think that I've.
Can't see that far.
I did, but like when I was first put in, that happened in a yearly thing.
I think I'll take some responsibility for that in transition to Jake, because when you first got in, Brandon had to fill that out. Transition to Jake, that didn't happen, and this year, as we've gone through it, it was something that we were reminded that we needed to do.
Well, the other part of that too is also the training that Brad does every year for the ethical training. As you go through that, he does talk about financial and those kind of things through his training. That covers that too. So each year.
Yeah, it's not something.
Right. No, it's just part of that training on that as you go through that. So it is every year when Brad talks a little bit about your ethics and all that kind of stuff, it falls into that.
Oh, the ethics.
And then the staff, we do that as we go through our policy in our staff meetings.
I think what you're referring to is Brandon had to sign something that we.
Well, Haley had you sign a new one. Yeah, and Haley had you sign a new one, I think, this year for the ethical stuff. Yeah, conflict of interest and stuff like that. So there's a number of things that happen there. So.
Thanks.
Any questions about that?
Thank you. Item number 5.4, Blaine, you want to take that one?
So this is the water conservation plan. We update it every 5 years. The goals that we had on the previous one were all met. Some of the new goals have remained the same. We want to reduce water use per capita on average by 5%. Monitor construction water, more public outreach for education, and continue to replace faulty meters and out-of-date meters. Did all of you get a chance to review it? Do you have any questions?
I appreciate that we passed.
Yeah. No.
And it, if you look at our conservation efforts, it does look like we have consistently been going down on the amount of water that we're using overall, so that's a great thing.
Yep.
I think you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Good?
No, I think we're good on any other questions. Thanks for all your.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That when we go into public hearing too, our next meeting has to be adopted after public hearing.
Great. What do we need to adopt?
It has to be adopted as a.
Our plan?
Our plan has to be adopted, and then we send it to the state.
Is that on the list for public hearing?
Yes, for this next meeting. It's being posted right now.
I just have one question about the fee schedule associated with that. Is that a proposed increase all in 1 year, or are we able to do that over the period of 5 years, or what?
So the one that's on here is the current fee schedule.
Okay.
But it says in there that the city can adjust those rates as needed.
Okay.
And so will the goals be the exact same as they were?
They're all pretty close to the same, yes. Keep reducing, or more public outreach, reduce water usage per capita, construction water monitor and, replace meters.
Thanks, Lane.
Yep.
Let's move into action items. 6.1, approve, deny, sell 2 parcel located approximate Main Street, Highway 9. It's just east of that little remnant piece of land right east of Cherry Hill. On this would be adopted via resolution that is on your desk.
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-08, authorizing the execution of a quitclaim deed, PIN number 13821 and parcel number 0089 :237D.
I love how.
I'll second that.
Hold on. Haley, what is that?
She's gonna graduate once in
Okay. Councilmember.
All I did was
Hold on,
read it.
wait, hold on. So we have Eileen, and then we have a second by Mark. Any further discussion on this? Anyone have any concerns with selling those 2 parcels? Great. Then let's move to a resolution. It was motion by Eileen, second from Mark.
Councilmember Eileen Moss.
Aye.
Councilmember Sean Stevenson.
Aye.
Councilmember Gary Anderson.
Aye.
Councilmember Mark Cottrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Florence Sadler.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Item 6.2, approve the July 15th city council minutes.
There's one more.
Do we need a motion on that one as well?
Oh, yeah.
I make a motion that we approve authorizing the execution of quitclaim deed PIN number 13821, parcel number 0089 :237BT.
Wow, you did that as soon as I
And the resolution number. Got it.
Resolution number 2025-09.
Second.
So a motion from Flo and a second from Sean. Any further discussion on this? Haley?
Okay. Councilmember Sean Stevenson.
Aye.
Councilmember Florence Sadler.
Aye.
Councilmember Eileen Moss.
Aye.
Councilmember Mark Cottrell.
Aye.
Councilmember Gary Anderson.
Aye.
I love it that you did it backwards. Just out of randomness, I just like that.
I was a little confused there. Thought she forgot.
I don't know if anyone actually thought that. That was pretty cool. Item number 6.2, approve the July 15th city council minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as they've been modified? I have a motion from Sean, second from Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes of July 15th, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We don't have any tabled items at this point in time. Calendar items. We've got Founder's Day, August 23rd. The quilt show starts the 21st. That's gonna be awesome. I'm sorry. I apologize to the entire city for being a naysayer on the quilt show like 3 years ago, but it's been a huge success. It is so cool to see how awesome and talented some of our residents are. I love it that the city and the quilting community have come together and have a couple of quilts to auction off. They've gone out to some of our local providers and gotten supplies that they're giving auction off. Like, I am so sorry for being such a naysayer on this, but it's been really cool to see it. I love it. As a city council, we would ask that you come, socialize, and then our responsibility would be just to help the staff clean up.
Are we going to allow those who are seeking election to set up booths as we did 2 years ago?
I don't think so. I think we will allow people to just come and talk, but not set up a specific booth. This is something that I spoke with Darren and Karen quite a bit, just saying, is there actually a value for that, or is it just a little bit more of a distraction? I think if people come, great. If you socialize, great, but not specifically booths that separate you from anything else. Is that fair?
Good to know.
And then do we have any concerns with helping clean up at the end? Just helping the staff sticking around and helping with that. Darren, is there any other responsibilities with
I've got a couple of things.
Okay.
Take care of me as part of my report.
Great, go on that. Last thing, August 26th, planning commission meeting. Go for it.
You can do that.
Yes, go for it, sorry.
Okay, on Founder's Day, everything's coming together. If you come in here, you see a lot of stuff that they're purchasing, and they really got some great activities planned here for us. It is Saturday the 23rd from 5 to 8. The city staff has asked that the council members could help be here about 3:30 to help with some setup of yard games, the rodeo zone, chalk art, voting, water stations, etc. And then everything will end at 8. And they'd like to have us help clean up. And clean up would be just bringing the tables in, games in, garbage in. You don't have to put anything away because the foot show will still kind of be there, so we won't have much room to be able to put stuff. And then the city staff will put everything really where it belongs on Monday. I think they've done an excellent job on the Ridge Runner. It gives full details of the things that they've changed this year, a little bit of the history, and I think they need to be commended on that. That is just some great information, and changing it up with things should really be fun for our residents, and particularly, our members. Another item is that the city office is currently taking new names for veterans to be engraved on the memorial. All new names need to be submitted to the city by October 8th. And then the names will be engraved, and we're asking for a $50 donation fee to have a name put on going forward. Currently, we have 6 names collected already for engravings. And we've reached out to the vendor today, and we want to make sure that those are all up and ready for Veterans Day. And that's when we're going to do it each year.
Great. Sorry for stepping on my thunder. So sorry about that. I apologize.
Yeah, you should be.
Please forgive me. Flo? Nothing?
I have nothing, thank you.
Eileen?
Are we gonna just?
Yes, we'll go back up to that.
Okay. Are we having a council meeting in 2 weeks?
Yes, we have a public hearing.
Okay, and so, we should also probably be hearing from our citizen court council. I believe that's our time.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing? Let's go to item 9.1.8. Darren, do you have any other follow-up on the bikes?
Right now, I've just done a lot of different research from different communities, actually some of the different states. I've got a lot of information compiled. I'm starting to work with the sheriff's department on items that they think that they could probably enforce fairly easy. Along with that, once I have a pretty good amount of agenda put together, I am going to meet with the other city managers and start talking, getting the surrounding community so we're all on the same page. That's part of the problem right now, is every city's got something a little bit different, and nobody really knows what's to follow with it. We can be more restrictive than state law, which right now is pretty much anything you do to be more restrictive. But we can make it work so e-bikes can be used, but there's some rules to be used in. So there's some good things out there that I've found. So that's where I'm at right now.
Is this something that we could see on the agenda in the next few weeks? Is this a couple months? What do you look at?
I'm scheduled to meet with the sheriff, I think, next week. So once we get that going, yeah, I'll start bringing things to the agenda, on the agenda for the e-bikes, so that we can see progress and where we're going.
So the state's definition of e-bikes, I think, is really poor. Can we define them more effectively as a city?
Yes, yes, we can.
Great. Appreciate you doing all the research on that.
Question on that. As I talked to you, you have those signs up now by the weeks. Have we seen some improvement on that? I've had a couple of them talk to me about it, want clarification, and they like the idea. Has that helped control anything on the fruit loops? Do you guys know?
I personally haven't seen any e-bikes out there, but I could be wrong.
We haven't had any calls in the office for the last few weeks about it, so hopefully that is helping a little bit.
Yeah, I like the sign where they're at all the entrance points, and I think it should help. I've heard some positive, but they don't want us to do it.
What did the sign say?
E-bike class
Class
C
one
and
and
above
two.
are prohibited from.
Anything above a class 3 e-bike is prohibited and I think it was like $800, but it's.
What is it, class?
Anything with a throttle.
So 1 and 2 is pedal assisted, and max speed would use it. It's like 20 miles an hour. Once you hit 3, then it's like 28 miles an hour, and then it has automatic. You can just hit the throttle and go. So there's some other things that go along with that. So.
Excellent. Blaine, do you have anything to report?
Nope.
Yes, you do. Tell us how the water retention basin is going and the seating there.
It's coming. It was a bad time of year to seed, but it's trying. We'll overseed it this fall. It'll look good. It'll look good come next spring.
Okay, how are the parks going?
Good. Yeah, I think we're just trying to clean them up. Still cleaning up from 89. They're like a mess, but they're getting better.
Nice, great job. Darren, do you have anything to report?
Nice.
Yeah, of course.
We are seeing a bunch of development on the our property. We assume that you're on that, and
Yes.
things are going well.
Yes, yeah, we've had a pre-con. I've met with them numerous times. They're following all their procedures. They seem to be doing a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Yeah.
With, Ted Perry retiring, how's that going with replacing him?
So he hasn't retired yet. It's gonna be a year. Just over a year. Just over a year.
Oh, still a year.
Just a
Okay,
year, yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah. And his plan right now is next year in September.
Right, okay, I thought Ted was doing this, okay.
No, Evelyn is retired.
And what is Evelyn meaning us?
Right now, she is going through with her financial advisor and stuff like that, but it looks like probably the middle of September. So.
Excellent.
To touch on Ted, sorry, real quick, on Ted, we do want to hire somebody after the first year to kind of get trained up, so.
And yeah, you budgeted for that.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Are we going to, anyway, doesn't need to be discussed now, but I'm assuming you're just going to move someone up into Ted's position and hire someone below, or someone new you can get. And did any of our guys pass the water exam yet?
The water exam, no.
Okay. Great. That is the last thing on our agenda. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Eileen, second from Gary. All in favor of adjourning, we'll say aye.
Aye.
7:49.